Hello, this is Luther McGinnis again, talking to talk to you about chord study today. It's the fourth vlog I've done for my piano instructional videos. Chords, mainly, the best way to learn chords is in triads. And triads, meaning the root word tri, meaning three, is talking about three notes. And the basic confines of a chord structure with three notes or a triad would be your roots, which will tell you the key that the chord is in. The root note, which is the bottom note. Then the second note or the third interval, which would be the middle note, and then the top note, which would be your melody. So in a C major triad, the bottom note, like I said, is the root, that's the C. The middle note is E, but that's also your third. And then the top note is your melody. So to make a C major triad, it's just C, E, G. To make a C minor, you're flattening the middle one, or what's called the third. When you flatten something, it's one note to the left. So it can be a black or a white key. C major, C minor. This is F major. F major chord, we're going to flatten the third. F minor. G major. G major triad. G minor. So you notice how I'm flattening the middle key. That's called the third. And the reason why it's called a third is because chords are composed of intervals. Intervals meaning the distance between one note to the other. So when you're hitting the same note, that's the first interval. The next whole key to the next, meaning it skips one note, is the second interval, third interval, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Eighth meaning octave, OCT. That's where we get octave from one note to the next. From a G to a G is an octave. So we want to try and do it in a different key other than C. First interval, second, third. Remember I was telling you to flatten the third to get a minor. So a G major triad, you're flattening the third. There you go. That's your third there. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And there's also seventh chords, which I'll get to later. That's your seventh chord. G to a G, that's an octave. So chords are used a lot of times to kind of paint the picture of what the song's trying to convey. Major chords usually are very happy, upbeat. For example, I would just do like a simple chord progression of Lean on Me by Bill Withers. Now notice how I'm keeping the same interval space between the notes and I'm going up each one. Then I'm adding my bass. It starts on a C major. So those are very simple chords. You also have simple major chords. The stuff is like a lot of times in most of your pop songs, they're written in like 4 or 5 chord change loops. For example, change that to an A to an A flat. Back in to a C major chord. So that's an example of one. I'm going to give you one more example, or maybe a couple more of a minor key. This is E flat major, actually. Then we'll change E flat major to an E flat minor. We're flattening the third. So here we go. Notice how the minor changed from a happy, upbeat sound with the major, and the minor went to more mellow and sad. Again, you're flattening the third. That's how you're getting your minor sound. That's your more dramatic, darker sounds. And like I said, most chord progressions are written like 4 or 5 note patterns. This will be a G major pattern. Again, I'm using D major. So I'll change the sound up a little bit. By not playing it, and I'm playing in separate notes, so those are called broken chords, when you're playing it like this, as opposed to a block chord, which is all notes at the same time. So you can do variations of both to kind of keep it sonically interesting. That's the end of that loop. Then you can add a seventh to it. Now you see how chords are the basic building blocks of songs. There's lots of different things you can do with chords, but again, it has a lot to do with your scales and knowing what keys are in what. I'll expound on those concepts later, but basically that's all for now. But the best thing to do when you're trying to learn chords is to learn the chords that have as few sharps and few flats as possible, and those are usually C major, D major, which has 2 sharps, F and C. Those are the 2 sharps there, or G major or F major. Those are good chords to begin to start working with. And you want to try and do major. That's easier to learn than minor. Then you want to progress to minor. But basically, that's just the chords are building blocks. And the more you play with chords, you'll know, if you're a songwriter, what follows next to kind of give it a natural progression and feel, to where it kind of meshes together and it goes together. So that's it for now, and I hope this helps some. I hope it's not too much over your head, but I will definitely expound on these concepts later. Thank you.